Welcome to Arizona. I'm Scott Smith, Mayor of Mesa. Thank you for joining us for this mobile workshop to the Gateway area. Aviation has a long history in Arizona, and our aerospace industry is booming. What you are about to see is not just the effort of Mesa, Phoenix, or Gilbert, but the entire region and state coming together to facilitate the most successful transfer from a military airbase to Reliever Airport and emerging aerotropolis. We've selected a few videos that will highlight what aerospace means in Arizona, and more specifically here at Gateway. We'll start off with a news report from 1994, when Williams Air Force Base closed and became Williams Gateway Airport. Then, we'll transition to a video about aerospace in Arizona. In 2008, Allegiant Air commenced scheduled operations at the airport with flights to 13 cities. With the start of airline services, Williams Gateway Airport was renamed Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. In 3 short years, Allegiant has grown to serve 31 destinations, and this year the airport will handle over 1 million passengers. Which leads us to the next segment, where you'll see about the airport's terminal expansions. New to Gateway is the Arizona Laboratories for Security and Defense Research, or ASLabs, which is one of only a handful of high-level security facilities of its kind in the United States. Until just recently, ASLabs was a high-security Air Force research laboratory. The city and its partners were successful in maintaining the high-level security designation as the lab transferred from the military to the private sector, which has made it a hotspot for defense and homeland security research. We'll end with a video celebrating the 70th anniversary of Gateway.
Plans are underway to transform Williams Air Force Base. The military doesn't need it anymore, so the private sector is beginning to move in. The hope is to bring back what was lost when that base closed. Lynn Clements is high over Williams tonight with that story. Lynn?
Bob, hundreds of buildings sit empty and unused out here at the former Air Force Base. However, that may not be the case for much longer. As we take a look outside live over Williams Air Force Base, you can see the 3 long runways here, perfectly capable of handling very large airliners. This base is slowly beginning to come back to life.
Your mask is right behind you, right here, and yours is that one there.
Civilian pilots go through training at the former Williams Air Force Base, a university course on the effects of high-altitude flight. It's a small but important step in a difficult transition from closed military base to productive community asset.
If quality education is going to be successful in aviation in this part of the country, Williams is a good site to do that. And that's why we're real excited about being part of the partnership here.
The University of North Dakota, which has a background in pilot training, runs this program. And this fall, ASU may open a satellite campus here with 1,500 students, according to the Williams Redevelopment Partnership, a group of East Valley cities.
What we're trying to do is to replace the 4,000 jobs that the community lost when the Air Force left. And the way the plan's unfolding now, looks like we'll replace those 4,000 jobs within about 4 to 5 years. And ultimately, on this site, we expect to have 17,000 direct jobs.
The control tower should reopen next week, allowing planes to land for the first time since the Air Force pulled out last fall. Long-term plans call for an airline terminal and regular flights, but that's probably 10 years off.
The airport will serve small planes at first until growth in the East Valley justifies airline flights, Bob, at some point in the future.
So they think, Lynn, that they can get back those 4,000 to 5,000 jobs that were lost in about 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, that amazed me that quickly, but that's the plan right now.
That's fast growth. Thank you very much, Lynn.
In just under a year, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport has announced another expansion, or Phase 2, of their passenger terminal.
2007, we had a couple of aircraft and a handful of destinations. Today, Allegiant serves 30 cities, and that number keeps growing. So in order to keep up with Allegiant, we keep expanding the passenger terminal, and it's a great thing to be able to celebrate.
Phase 2 will add 2 additional gates and 30,000 square feet of space. It will also increase the airport's capacity from 900,000 passengers to 1.2 million. Meanwhile, an additional $4.8 million in grants from the Federal Aviation Administration was awarded the airport for Phase 3 expansion of the terminal. It'll add 2 more gates, bringing the total number of gates to 10.
We're going to see over the next few years a lot more construction, a lot more flights, a lot more airlines, and a lot of growth, economic growth and other growth in this area.
Also announced, Allegiant Air, which started passenger service at Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport in 2007, will add nonstop service from Phoenix Mesa to Las Vegas beginning November 17th. The new flights between Gateway and McCarran International Airport will operate 6 times a week, with introductory fares as low as $29.99 one way.
Adding Las Vegas service to it, I think, says to the community, hey, we're here, we love you, let's get on those planes and fly.
The current airport expansion project is scheduled for completion in November 2012. Phase 3 is scheduled for completion a year later. For more information about the expansion, visit phoenixmesagateway.org. To book your flight with Allegiant, visit allegiantair.com. 70 years ago, ground was broken at Williams Field and Falcon Field airports. These 2 airstrips played a key role in training pilots during World War II.
On July 16, 1941, the citizens of Mesa broke ground at Williams Field and Falcon Field, giving birth to our community's enduring aviation heritage.
A groundbreaking reenactment was held to celebrate both airports and the transformation to what it is today, a vital and growing aerospace community. Glenn Guthrie was there 70 years ago when ground was broken.
I was 16 years old at the time. Max Killian and I raised the first American flag. When the Air Force Base disbanded, they brought the 2 of us out here again to take down the last American flag.
Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport is home to more than 50 companies, servicing more than 1 million passengers annually.
Today, the airport alone has an impact of almost $800 million a year on the community. I believe, I don't have any statistics on it, but I believe the university's impact is probably just as great. So between the 2, we have an impact that's probably 5 times what the impact of the Air Force Base was at its height.
This location, this piece of real estate that started out as a dream of many people has turned into an overall enterprise that affects literally tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, directly and indirectly. And you can't measure that. You can't measure the positive. And we've only scratched the surface. This is simply the beginning.
Both airports are a hub of economic growth, but more importantly, they are creating the love of flight for generations to come.
We hope you enjoyed our video highlights of Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. These videos highlighted what cities and regions can do to bring in new aviation business, flights, jobs, and higher education, all in one location. Thanks again for coming out to Mesa. I hope you enjoy the workshop.